Hey everybody, how are you today? It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, following me on my Facebook group page for TWB. Listen, big day today. News coming out of Carnival. All kinds of news hitting the wires just before the opening of the markets. I guess the company wanted to get this news out before the shares started to trade, so they couldn't be accused of holding back relative news to the markets. It's about cancellations. Here we go again. We've already talked about Norwegian and Royal Caribbean and all of their different cruise lines shutting down and extending their shutdowns. Now, Carnival is doing this as well. They announced this morning that the Australia cruising season is delayed yet again. Australia is now being delayed until May the 19th, 2021. So this is saying goodbye to summer sailings for Australia and New Zealand pretty well. May 20 or May 19th for us is the beginning of summer. This is the beginning of winter for Carnival. So their so-called summer-fall season down there is shot, unfortunately. This ship right here, the Carnival Legend, the cruise line announced this morning that the Legend will not sail Europe. They have extended the shutdown for this ship till October 31st, 2021. So no Mediterranean, no European sailings for the Legend. Do not be surprised if eventually, in the next month or two, Carnival will literally shut down all of Europe for the balance of the summer, if there was going to be much of any sailing anyway. Unfortunately, because the issues in Europe are just as challenging as they are in North America with regard to vaccinations and virus count outbreaks. And I expect basically all cruise lines to either be told to shut down by the government, or they will just voluntarily not even try, because the risk is too great. Now here, the Carnival Mardi Gras. This beautiful new ship, there's been so much hype around it. There's been so much anticipation about it. Unfortunately, today, again, Carnival has had to delay the first cruise of the Mardi Gras. They have now delayed it until May the 29th. So effectively, the first cruise for Mardi Gras will take place the first week of June 2021. And that, again, is assuming that the CDC in the U.S. will allow the ship to sail, that the cruise line has passed all kinds of protocols. And don't forget, folks, Carnival has that environmental thing hanging over their head. The federal judge in Miami, where Carnival was convicted of polluting U.S. waters in numerous instances. Then they were caught with their hand in the cookie jar, basically breaking their parole violations and being subjected to another serious fine. I think it was $20 million. They now have to certify every single ship to sail in U.S. waters, including the Mardi Gras, even though it's a brand new ship. This is causing and will cause further delays and difficulties for Carnival going forward. In some cases, we may see some ships that Carnival has having to spend tens of millions of dollars of additional money they don't have to adhere to and be able to be recertified to sail in U.S. waters. There's just a whole lot of stuff happening now. Otherwise, other news: the entire cruise line for Carnival, they've announced that all U.S. sailings will now be shut down until the end of April. So we're talking now a May 1 possible restart date for cruises for Carnival out of U.S. ports, which includes Alaska out of Seattle. But again, this is subject to CDC rulings, whether or not the CDC is going to enact another no-sail order. Now that the new administration is running things in Washington, things are happening at light speed over there. We're going to find out pretty quickly, I would say sometime in the next week or so, just what the intentions of the CDC are going forward for all cruise lines operating in and out of America. And the number one thing for Carnival apart from that judge with regard to their environmental problems, the other issue they have to deal with, like everybody else, is how to figure out a way to get their crew members back to their ships, especially for U.S. Ports. The CDC, I am certain, is going to be very strict and will want serious details with respect to have vaccinations been given to all crew members. Can that be verified? Will crew members need to arrive in the States with a negative COVID test within 72 hours, proof of vaccination, and then they have to be quarantined either in the U.S. for a week or two, or will they be allowed to be transferred from the airport right to the ships and then be quarantined on the ship, say 10 miles off the U.S. coast, for 1 or 2 weeks, and then retested and who knows what? I mean, these are logistics that we've never seen before in really any industry, but unfortunately for the cruise lines, they are really up against it when it comes to the U.S. protocols. I'm just kind of glad to see the United States getting tougher with respect to airport arrivals. We just heard the president yesterday announce that anyone arriving into the United States from an international location by air has to have had a test prior to getting on the plane, at least 3 days or sooner. And now, when you land in the U.S., you must go into quarantine. This is brand new. And if this is going to be the case for crew members, what about passengers? What about you and me, folks? We want to go on a cruise out of Miami, right out of here, on Carnival or anybody else. Are we going to have to arrive in Miami 10 days before our cruise with a negative COVID test, perhaps proof of a vaccine shot that's been taken, and then we have to quarantine for, say, a week in an area hotel approved by the CDC and the U.S. government? God help us if we violate that condition. And then we can go on a sailing ship, on a cruise ship. This turns a 1 week cruise out of Miami into a minimum 2 week ordeal, or maybe a 17-day ordeal. And don't forget, a number of countries are saying that when you come home from America back to your home country, you have to quarantine for up to 2 weeks back home, even though you may or may not have had the vaccine and you tested negative. We just don't know. There's so much uncertainty here, but Carnival today has done the right thing. They've canceled everything out again until the end of April, so we're now talking May and beyond before we can see cruising here. And but I have a feeling this is going to go a lot longer. Anyway, there you have it, folks. The latest from Carnival. We'll keep you posted on all the other news. Thanks for subscribing and thumbs ups and comments and all your support. We'll talk to you later, everybody. Bye for now.